Hello, everyone, and welcome to the new episode of Beyond Mirage. Today, we have with us Vedantika Puri, who is an experienced and talented wellness coach and is on a mission to counsel individuals in becoming more aware of living a healthy and spiritually fulfilling life. She has completed her wellness honors from International Association of Wellness Professions, USA, and have worked with 300 plus individuals to transform their lives. She has been working with various corporates and helping people to live a healthy and happy life. Welcome, Vedantika, to the podcast and web series of Beyond Mirage.
Wow, thank you for this amazing introduction. I just feel like somebody, but it's nothing. I'm nobody. But thank you so much for having me, Jay. I'm so happy to be here.
Pleasure. So, when I came across your Instagram handle, it says Happy Thist Vedantika, and your company name is also Happy Thist. So, what exactly Happy Thist is? I was very confused, and I want to start with this.
So I'll tell you what, a few years ago, I was working with a company and I was a business head over there. And every time I would market the company, it literally became like a counseling session where I was helping people understand them. And, somebody was emotionally battered, mentally. So what happened is I realized that there was a sense of contentment and happiness people felt when they used to meet me. So my marketing was actually a counseling session.
Okay.
So I came back home one day and I was sitting with my mom and I said, Mom, I think I can do so much more with my life than just be a part of this company. And she's like, yeah, but what do you want to do? I said, I don't know, maybe help people spiritually, motivate them, like be like somebody who's like a happythist, like a happiness therapist, happythist. And she's like, wow, that's a really interesting name. And happythist actually just slipped out of my mouth, which was a very innovative way of saying a therapist of happiness. I'm not a therapist. I'm a life coach. I'm a spiritual coach. I help you guys, people with mindfulness and actually understanding evolution and understanding life as a gift. But this word happythist just slipped out of my mouth. I think it was probably meant to be for me, because of which in that alignment, when I was talking about doing something with my real power and real self, happythist came out. So happythist is genuinely just an innovative way of saying I am a therapist of happiness and I guide people to create their happiness.
Wow, amazing. Sometimes things just come up and the universe sends certain words out and that becomes a lifestyle. Yeah. So how did your journey start? So since you said that you are a wellness coach, okay, and a life coach, and you help people say transform their lives, living more happily and spiritually. So how did it all started? Was that always in your mind, or did you think that you would be doing something like this, or how did it started?
Not even close. This whole journey of mine actually started in the end of 2015 and the beginning of 2016. It was just a very difficult transition that I was going through. My personal and professional life both were falling apart, and I could sense it and I could feel it, but there was a part of me that was kind of denying it. And then the way life was curated, I went on a girls trip with my childhood friends. We've been friends for over 30 years now.
Wow.
So this was like 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And we went to Sri Lanka. And one evening we were just sitting and talking, and we were talking about spirituality, angels, evolution. And then this very dear friend of mine introduced me to this practice called the law of attraction. So in the law of attraction, honestly, I didn't want anything. I've never been a person of things. कि मुझे ये चीज चाहिए या वो चीज चाहिए. I've been very content and happy in life. So when she introduced me this, she also handed over a book to me saying, there's a practice for 30 days. It's about health, wealth, relationships, and you're supposed to write what do you want, and then you work in partnership with the universe. And it was just so amazing to hear. So when I came back from my trip, very honestly got into a practice of asking the universe two questions: what and why. So these are the only two questions the universe wants to know: where, how, when. All that they decide.
Okay.
Right? So I got into a practice of asking, why am I on earth? What is my purpose? Because I want to know my authentic truth, and I want to serve from that space. And I very honestly did this practice, and I was so inclined and in tune with this practice that even after the 30 days were over, I still continued the practice. Every day I would sit in the morning, fights at home, fights with boyfriend, fight at work, no matter what. I was like, I want to find this. I have to decode this. So every day, without desperation, without any anxiety, in genuine contentment and happiness, with a lot of faith, because I'm a very devotional person. I've always believed in God. With a lot of faith, I would write my what and why. And after a point, I think 6 months had crossed and I had not found it. So I had started writing, I'm one more day closer. I'm one more day closer. I don't know how far. I didn't know if it was 6 months away. I was 1 year away. I was 10 years away to really figure it out. But I just motivated myself every day saying, you're one more day closer to finding this girl. Just go for it. And eventually, the way the universe created a vacuum. So people also need to understand that for things to fall into place, a lot of things are taken away from you, right? They're not going to jumble. Ek ke upar ek nahi de sakte hain. They will create a vacuum, and then they will start placing things of where you belong. And that whole transition finally took me to America. I was going there for a job. That job didn't work out. I realized I wasn't happy, and I ended up studying. And I ended up studying wellness honors. And before that, I did Ashtanga Yoga Teachers Training course over here because I didn't want to work in the company I was working. So things were just falling apart for things to fall into place. So that is how that whole 1 year journey of really being in partnership with my creator and the universe that he has created for us to grow and evolve in, I think that took me towards life coaching. So honestly, I have not chosen this profession. I do believe that this profession chose me. And then when I connected the dots of my life, I saw that this is something I have been doing unconsciously all my life. I was not conscious about it, but every friend would come to me for an advice. I would be traveling, strangers would come and talk to me and start taking an advice. There was a sense of comfort they felt, and I never understood it. I actually was a little snobbish about it, and I would ignore it and be like, what to tell these people, yaar? But then I realized that all throughout my life, probably this is what I was meant to do. And I just took it up. And since 2017 August, when I graduated in Wellness Honors, I have been, a happyist and helping people all across the world with creating their happiness.
Wow, amazing. Actually, since you told about the two questions, what and why, those two questions are basically termed as existential crisis questions, if I term it right now. Okay. Yeah. And to be very honest, I have also tried and asked myself what my purpose is, why am I here, and all those questions. I'm still on the journey to figure it out. I haven't found the answers. But yes, as you told me that it took you 6 months and more to figure out, like exactly
1 full year.
Exactly.
1 full year.
So that helps me. And I think many listeners out there who would actually be trying to figure out what their purpose is, because it's really, we have termed it as existential crisis question. And because of that, a lot of mental pressure is taking toll on us, because we are doing things that actually we don't want to do to impress the people out there and the world out there. And we are not able to actually do what we are meant for. And we are not able to find the things. So all the people who are listening, it took 1 year to her to actually figure out the purpose. So we have just started our journey. So maybe a little more patience would help us.
Absolutely. I feel, the problem with this generation is that we want instant gratification. We want instant solutions. Life is an evolutionary plane, and you have to sit with yourself and give yourself that time, first of all, to really take care of the backlog of all your emotions, all your ego, all your triggers. Once you start clearing that and being honest with yourself, that's when life will start revealing to you what it is. So people definitely lack a lot of patience. And honestly, Jay, it is a perspective. Like the world, there is a section that controls us, and they have named it existential crisis. I would say what and why are very empowering questions.
Right.
So I think we should change the perspective to it, because the more pressure we put on these questions, the more people are going to refrain from actually asking them. So I would say what and why are the most empowering questions, because they will take you to your authentic self. And authentic self does not mean that, you know, you're going to find like this powerful place. That whole process is pretty messy. You know, you're going to see a lot of fears, you're going to see a lot of hurt, you're going to see a lot of things that as a child, in a childhood psychology, you've kept thinking this is life and this is the way I have to behave. You need to strip those layers to reach your authentic self. And it's a process.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. And for that, a lot of patience and a lot of, say, continuous dedication, faith. Perfect. Faith is
Very
required.
important.
Very important.
Faith is required. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. And since you were talking about the wellness aspect, so what are the different aspects of wellness that one has to take into account?
There are quite a few, but the ones I personally work on with myself and my clients are mental, emotional, spiritual, three most important: physical, environmental, financial, and social. These are the things that I work with people. Then there is intellectual and so on and so forth. But I feel that, you know, like your physical and your financial are still upper layers of your life. When you go deeper, then it's mental and emotional. And the deepest layer is your spiritual. Though all of them are interconnected, but people don't go to the depth of spirituality, because spirituality actually means to deepen your insights to life. You know, it's not only about puja part. If you've got there, nothing like it, because there's nothing as powerful as the creator of this place. And if you get a chance to worship him, I mean, I think people should never miss out on that chance. But people have questions, you know, like when I was growing up, I thought everybody was spiritual, but then I saw there were atheists, there were, you know, people who didn't at all, they were nice people but didn't believe in God. And I was like, this is very confusing, this realm is very confusing. But I think it's really just being honest with yourself to what do you want and where do you want to go in life, and everything falls into place, because that's the conversation you have with you.
Right. Amazing. Brilliant point of view. Since you told that you have worked with many individuals, okay, and since you're working also with many corporates and helping people to lead a happy and peaceful life, so what is that one common problem that exists, okay, and if worked upon, will lead everyone to live a happy life? What do you think about that? Because you must have found out certain patterns, right, after working with so many people.
We all have similar issues. You know, there are ginti ke issues, I can name it on my fingers, that human beings go through. It's emotional issues, it's relationship issues, it's work issues, it's health issues, it's friendship issues. So we all are bound by the same issues. It's just the degrees of our issues are different depending upon how you have dealt with it. If you've taken it to your ego and gone in a downward spiral, or you've taken it to your soul and got into an evolutionary process and really growth oriented about it. So there are two ways you can go, higher or lower.
Okay.
Right. So I think honestly, all of us are bound by the same issues. What I feel people lack is that they don't educate their emotions. Like, emotions are vital to our intelligence. You have an IQ and you have an EQ. Your intelligent quotient is something you're born with, but your EQ is something you can educate yourself with from time to time. And people don't do that. People get stuck in their drama, somebody else's story, and how they are not processing, and you're feeling bad because they are projecting that onto you. So I think once people start educating their emotions, they will be able to have a balanced life. So that is one thing people really need to do. Second, people don't know the difference between life and lifestyle. I think everybody's so behind maintaining a certain lifestyle that they're not understanding life is a gift, and it is on and it is constantly going on, teaching you. You have to learn from it, love it, live it. But they are caught in certain lifestyle issues of, I want this thing and I want that thing, and that is not happening and this is not happening. So they are more desire driven. And the human mind is such that desires can never come to an end. So you need to know how much is enough for you, and you need to build from there on, like the kind of human being you want to be, because you're just a story like the other billion people, but you can have an impact on your soul, your mind, your environment by being the best version and the best energy you can carry inside of you. So I think these two things people need to really focus on.
Wow, amazing. So when you talked about the emotion angle, okay,
Mhm.
we can educate our EQ. So for that, I believe one should know themselves first. Like instead of just focusing outside, one should draw
Yeah.
their attention inside and
Yeah.
try to work on themselves. So what do you think? How can one know themselves better?
I feel that we, especially living in India, being Indians, I'm so proud of my country because we have this rich Eastern philosophy of
Hmm.
spiritual science. Like that is our richness. But we are so mesmerized by the Western culture that I know, like when I did my wellness honors, most of my cultures, panchakarmas, tridoshas, I learned in the West and I have come to the East and I felt very ashamed about it.
Wow.
They
Okay.
had all this in their, courses, that this is how you decode your body, this is how you decode your mind, your subconscious, your higher, your buddhi. And I was so like, oh my God, I belong to this country and I don't know this. I think people need to really start seeking the knowledge from where and the land that they are born in.
Hmm.
I think that is one thing I would tell people to really inculcate. Pick up a self-help book. We have so many swamis, sadhus, life coaches. Everybody goes inside, and whoever has gone inside, even if they've not met each other, they've had the same journey, because spirituality gives you the same journey.
Hmm.
We are 95% matter, 5% we are different, which is a biochemical. But how we have to take the journey inside is the same. So I think academically, people need to really inculcate, even in our schools, I think they should teach meditation since childhood. I don't know why they have not done that.
Hmm.
It is very important. Plus, making us understand in school, from school level, what is self love, because these things are given to us in our spiritual scriptures. On everything starts with you, God is within you. Once you honor your own inner divinity, that's when it's going to flood out. But the way the society is built, they will tell you you have to give the love to somebody else, and you cannot that's when you are validated in love. But all that love we first need to give ourselves. We need to understand spiritual science, because it is true and it will help you in your evolution. I think that is something people should really focus on.
Right, right, right. I also believe personally that our scriptures have certain type of empowering questions that we talked about. Like
Yeah,
have the
very.
answers to all those empowering questions. What is your purpose?
Yes.
Why are you on earth? And these kind
Yeah.
of empowering questions are there, and the solutions are also there. But maybe we
Yeah.
have forgotten our roots, as you correctly said. And if we go in the depth of it, maybe we would be able to go inside us. And once we go inside us, there's a different world altogether.
Yes, absolutely. And it's not that you have to only live in the inner world. You have to create a bridge between your inner world and outer world.
Hmm.
Because if you're only living out, you're confused. And if you're only living in, you'll be very disconnected. So to
Hmm.
enjoy this world, it just gives you the depth to understand.
Right. Perfect. Perfect. Yep. So this brings me to one question. Like, what is
Yeah.
definition of success according to you?
According to me, I
Yep.
am very grateful, first of all, Jay, that you frame this question this way, that the level of success and understanding, according to me, because the truth is, like the more I travel in the world, which I think traveling is my passion, it's a part of my purpose. Because I'm very inclined towards it. As I said, I will not invest in things. I will go and go to another destination. And when you meet people, I think life just gets more and more diluted because there are so many stories. As
Hmm.
I said, there is a certain section controlling and studying the mass and telling you an analysis to help you navigate through life. But there are a number of stories and people live their life variously.
Right.
So I think my definition of success is genuinely first happiness. If
Hmm.
you're not happy, no matter how many material things you have, it is not going to help you in life. Because the true definition of happiness is your state of inner peace and well-being that don't depend upon circumstances. And we as people don't know that. We get caught in circumstances, and it is scientifically and spiritually proven that circumstance is 10% of our life. 90% is our response and reaction. So in that 90%, you build yourself or destroy yourself every day. So my success in my life with material or with people has come when I have worked on my energies and my energy field and my frequency. When I fill it with prayers, when I fill it with faith, I'm a magnet to miracles. Literally, I get things that I want. I can think of a perfume or a destination or a bag or a brand, and I actually get it. I don't even have to work hard for it because I am happy. I don't worry कि ये कहाँ से आएगा, पैसे कहाँ से आएंगे, लाइफ आगे क्या होने वाली है. जो होना है वो होना है. I can't change it. Right. So I just go with the flow of understanding. Okay, right now it is a bad phase. I have to sit with it. I have to see what all it's triggering. So my success rate depends upon my level of introspection. It depends upon my level of understanding people around me. It depends upon the level of happiness I live with. And definitely if you have good food. I am a big fan of food. I think I work very hard for it. So if you have good food, I feel you're successful in life.
Amazing. So when you talk about happiness, yes, every one of us, whatever we do in our life, whether we want to be a millionaire or whether we want to do something else, whether we are studying or whether we are doing a job or whether we are doing a business, anything, any aspect or any work that we do, when we go to the root of it, we do it for just two things in life. One is happiness and one is peace. Khushi or Shanti. When you go in the depth, right? So we all are doing, we know that we want happiness and peace, but where actually is happiness?
This is such an amazing thing you said, because as you said, people don't know the definition of happiness. People are thinking when they buy that thing or have that woman or man or get married or children, that's when they'll be happy. So happiness has become a destination for people. They don't realize that without all these things also you can be very happy. You don't need these things on you. So in the Vedas, there is this one very interesting story that I had read. I was reading one version of an Upanishad, and it said that God wanted to hide one of the most important treasures. So he assigned the angels and said, let's hide this treasure. It's very important. So some angels said, let's put it in the depths of the ocean. Man will not go down there and find it. So somebody said, no, maybe he'll reach the ocean. Let's go to the desert. Let's put it in the depths of desert. So God said, you know what? I'm going to put this treasure inside a man because that is the last place he's going to look at it for. Wow. And that is the truth. We tie our lives to desires. We think once we get this thing, that thing, life will go, but they're not understanding that attachment is being built to these processes, thinking this is happiness. So you have a house, then you want a second house. You have a car, then you have a second car. Then you have a girlfriend, then you want a wife, then you have an extramarital affair. Like it's going on and on and on. And people don't know where is happiness and how much is enough. And we are living in a very difficult time, I must tell you. I think with social media and people faking their lives so beautifully. Like I feel everybody is an actor. Everybody is a potential actor in life because, we are playing characters at the end of it on this earth. You're playing a character of a certain person. I'm playing a character. So everybody is creating this life and it is confusing people. It is confusing people with their own blessings, with their own journeys. So yeah, I think people need to understand that happiness is your own creation and it is on the inside. And it is how you perceive things is you need to change that lens from time to time. Otherwise, you're going to be just working all your life to gather these things. And once you're dead, you can't even take them with you. So what are you gathering them for? Gather what you can, enjoy them. And I would tell the youth, do these things. If you don't do these things, you will really not know how they don't hold value beyond the point. Things are supposed to be used and enjoyed. They're not supposed to be treasured.
Yeah.
Love is supposed to be treasured. Relationships are supposed to be treasured,
right.
Not things. But people should go for it. They should fall into their cycle. They should make this mistake. and then they should realize from there on.
Right. So this reminds me of one of the quotes that I read. We are in a problem, or the world is in a disaster, because things are being loved and they were meant to be used, and people are being used though they were meant to be loved.
They're meant to be loved. Yes,
Yeah.
very true. It is a sad fact. It's a very sad fact, but you can only take ownership for your own self and the way you have your intentions in your life. And if people think that they have an escape from this, there is no escape, because this world that we live in, this bhugol that we live in, has one very particular law, which is the law of cause and effect. Jo karoge wo bharoge. So
Right.
whatever action you're putting out, it's only going to find you eventually.
Hmm.
So it's your energy and your intention carrying your life. So people who are using people are going to get a flavor of it. People who are using things will get a flavor of it. People who are loving will get a flavor of it. So everybody, as you said in the start, that there are crores of people who don't go into this journey of finding, because maybe it's not their time right now to really find what they have to do. But that does not mean you live ill intentionally. You can still live with good intentions, good energy, understand your path, understand your karma, start clearing the backlog, then
Right.
get to the other deeper aspects of life.
Amazing. Yep. Perfect. So this brings me to one of the most important question, or the existential
Yes.
crisis question, or say the most empowering question. What is your purpose in life?
My purpose in life is to graduate Earth and to graduate in humanity. I take that as my purpose. To be a life coach and serve is just a byproduct of my being as a person.
Exactly.
It is not just my identity, because I think it's also, you have to let go of certain identities after a certain period, because that is not who I am. This person, even if you don't call me a happythist, even if you don't call me a life coach, I like to believe that I'm a vessel to an intelligence that I understand and very aware about, and that intelligence flows through me. But my personal ambition is to graduate Earth. And to graduate Earth, you need to understand love and what it really love is, which I know most people don't know. We can say it orally that love is supposed to be unconditional, but when you're put in that position where you have to give unconditional love, it's a whole different story. So in life, I'm going to have I know I've had a lot of experiences of heartbreaks, parental wound, sibling issues, and maybe in the future also I will have certain issues. But the whole idea is to graduate in these things and not be stuck in it, because I want to be loved. My ambition and vision in life is to be loved, and as I'm growing in that, whoever joins me will get the same thing, because that is going to be my reflection from my core, because that is my intention for my lifetime. So my purpose is this, I would say.
Amazing. That actually comprises of everything. When you term the word love, okay, so it covers everything. It just expands in the entire universe.
It does. It is the most intelligent energy. It's so shape-shifting. You can find it between boy, girl. You can find it between mother, son. You can find it between anybody. Like, it's a shape-shifting. You can find it in things. People love things, and it's just a vibration that I want to be a part of and understand it deeper and deeper. And I would like to believe that I'm still on a journey of loving and becoming love more. I still have a very long time to go, but I know I have started it and I've reached somewhere, and then I'll reach somewhere, and then I'll reach somewhere. It's just a process. Yeah.
That's nice. That's amazing. Yes, life is always a process, and continuous progress is what makes us good and believe in ourselves. And that's really great.
And also understanding your process and understanding your progress is also success for me.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be big and elaborate and dramatic. It can be small steps, because we are never the same person the next day we wake up. We're every day different.
Yes.
So it's what are you consciously and in awareness feeding yourself? I know what I'm feeding myself. I know the content that I choose to watch. I know the books I try to read. I know the people I associate with. I'm a very conscious being that way. So people need to evaluate the level of success there as well.
Exactly. This is what I learned from one of the masters. He said that, okay, Jay, if you have anger issues, okay, this was like around 5-7 years back, don't worry, it will get you will pass through it. Okay. Just try and focus on the present. Try not to get angry to certain situation, people or thing, because these are the only three things. Either we get angry, or we get attached to a thing or people or a situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just be there and keep evaluating yourself. Okay.
Hmm.
Day by day.
Hmm.
And try to practice. If anger comes, then tell in your mind, let two wolves fight within you. That,
Hmm.
okay, one will say you need to get angry because that has happened to you, and the other will say it doesn't make sense, it is only taking you more down. Okay, anger, yes, for a momentary thing, you will let out all the feelings and you will let out all the words, but it might create a bad impact in future, or it might distort a relationship. So
Hmm.
let the two wolves fight within
True.
you, and let the wolf that you feed to stop your anger
Win.
win. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
And I kept trying that, and I kept evaluating it. So as you said, that
Yeah.
evaluation of your progress is also very important, which helps us to get internal motivation, I would say, to work on something. Yep. And
Very
any
nice.
yeah, and any final message you would like to give to all the listeners and viewers of you?
First of all, thank you all for your time and giving us this time, out of your routines to listen to this. My preaching can go on, but I only want to tell you all that we give a lot of validation to movement and motion. And since 1 year or more than a year, we have been in a certain amount of stillness, and that, movement and motion has come to a stall because we are at home with our families, not being able to travel, not being able to go for shopping, not be doing a lot of things. But this is a very precious space. It's a very rich space that you're in, because this is life giving you a chance to actually get to know yourself. And if you don't know yourself, I mean, you're losing out on knowing the longest companionship of your life, which is you.
Hmm.
Not your husband, not your children, not your parents. Everybody is a fragment of your life, but you are the main center of it. So get to know yourself, give yourself that stillness, give yourself that love first, and then it will start flowing out. So use this time and utilize it to really be in partnership with yourself.
Amazing. Amazing. And yes, I definitely agree on that stillness aspect, because in stillness, in calmness, there are certain answers that we get, which we all have been finding. So,
Absolutely.
yep, that's really great. And thank you so much, Vedantika, for doing this podcast with me. Uh, Guys, I will be linking her website, her Instagram handle below. Do connect with her. One of the most genuine souls I had ever met. And
Thank you.
so happy. She actually is really happy with
See,
what.
see, that's success for me. What else do I need? That is
Exactly.
success for me.
Exactly. So, guys, do connect with her. Most genuine soul and really helpful, really humble. And yes, definitely do connect with her. I'll be linking all the handles in the description below. Thank you,
Yes.
Vedantika.
Thank you for having me.